And we're live with another episode of BS Busters. I'm joined by. Introduce yourself, lady.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to BS Buster 8-Week Podcast. I am Joy Eli Moonstar, and we had a surprise director this week, and oh boy, that was a bit of a mess.
So, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters, and we're about to get started. We're doing a little bit of a different format because I only have the one panelist, but
Hey, we work with what we can.
yeah, we do what we have to do.
And right now, I think we at least got one thing to do.
Yeah, so before we go any further, I guess we should pimp out whatever we want to talk about. So, I guess we should pimp out what we're doing. Jewel doesn't really. Um,
Well, I am doing Animal Crossing right now.
all right.
I, if anything, it's probably keeping me a little bit saner than normal this round. And I did start last week, so
All right.
what about you,
Well,
Red?
I'll talk about what I'm playing, but first I need to pimp out the channel. To get in touch with the channel, you reach me at MrRedFoxBSBusters@gmail.com, or you can at me on Twitter at Matthew Wesley at MrRedFox91, or there's a
Or
link
you
to
can
the
hit us up at the Discord description down below.
there's a link down below. So with that being said, let's get into this is Bullshit Busters. So what have I been playing? Well, I've been playing through um, Paper Mario, Origami King.
Ooh boy.
Um, and look, listen. I'm
Just
not.
say it already. I know what you're gonna do.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything because I haven't finished the game yet, and I don't really want to. I don't really want to go into. I don't want to go into reviews, but what I will say is this: when I finally do review this game, I will be using a lot of paper puns, um, and that's all I'm
Okay.
saying. Uh, so basically, yeah, it's
I still got my eye on you, buddy.
well, I mean, uh, here's what I'll say about the game. Okay, here's all I'm going to say about the game. This game may be the best Paper Mario game out of the last three iterations of this franchise, but that's not saying much.
I called it.
Not really, you
I
know,
so fucking called it, you steep.
like, if that's all I'll say on that. But that's neither here nor there. That's what I've been playing. Like I said, uh, it's I'm about. Let's see, how far am I in this game?
I
Let me
could
check.
at least say you might be 50%.
No, I am 60%,
I was close.
60% through. So I'll get to the other two parts in a little bit, and then we'll and then I'll give my review. My review will have two parts. The first part of my review, I'm just going to be talking about how I'll typical good, bad, ugly, where I'll go over the good parts just from an objective standpoint, the bad parts from an objective standpoint, and then the ugly, which is just interesting little facts that I might appreciate or might bother me. Um, my subjective thoughts about the game will be the second part of that review, where I'll just go over what bothers me about the game, what I don't like, what I do like, what could have been better, what could have been worse, etc., etc. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about.
What happened Monday or something else?
Well, I mean, there's lots of shit we can talk about. We can talk about a lot of things. We can talk about how fucking we can talk about Ubisoft.
Oh,
We could talk about we could talk about Ubisoft. We could talk about a lot of things. You know,
I know.
there.
Just if anything, I thought we get some of the stuff that was really public out there first.
Well, I mean, this is a follow up to Ubisoft. An old friend who just who in my opinion is the gift that just keeps on giving came back. Philip Mewson.
I was about to say, I thought you were going to butcher his name into Philip Mucus.
No, no, I don't like making fun of people's names unless they do something particularly egregious. I mean, and there's really nothing I can really call him that's going to be worse than, I mean, Philip the thief, Philip the plagiarist. I mean, what am I going to say? You know, Philip the guy who steals other people's shit. I don't know.
I was go- I thought you at least have a little fun with that before you get into the news about Ubisoft or
No, no,
UB Toilet, whichever you prefer.
no, I call it UB shit. So basically, at this point, Ubisoft has once again proven that they're talentless hacks. So in an investor meeting, Ubisoft, rather than admit to the fucked up shit they've been doing, instead so an investor asked Yves Guillemot a question. He said, which is the same thing I was going to say in a video, but it makes more sense. It comes from an investor. With the allegations Ubisoft has come out about Ubisoft, either you didn't know about this, or you ignored it, or you buried it. Like that's the only thing. Either way, these are just really bad. This is a bad situation. Now, Yves Guillemot, for those of you who don't know, is the guy who basically made Ubisoft into what it is. So, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, Ubisoft fostering a culture of abuse, misogyny, people being coercively raped.
I was gonna say I thought that he was basically a pig that's that tried to ham it up all over the place and basically just wiggled into every nook and cranny for his attention time.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, I just think that it's kind of like, here I will find the relevant story and show it on screen so people
So
will.
still, it still bugs me to no end knowing that somebody like that kind of pig was running the place, and it kind of makes me feel like there's virtually nowhere safe in the gaming world that you will not be burnt out or worse in this case.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I keep on saying this, but legitimately, and I know some people are going to get mad at me when I say this, but legitimately, there needs to be developers need a union. Now, I'm not saying that sexual assault and shit like that doesn't happen in unions, but developers need a union, and the reason developers need a union is because they need some type of leverage against management so that this type of shit doesn't happen. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if anything, I
Because if there was a
already hear
union, they could have been like, okay, until this shit gets settled, we're all gonna walk out, and no one's gonna be making your goddamn games. Because here's the thing, they're like, well, this person, we have to value the creative people. It's like, I don't care how creative this person is. If there aren't developers underneath this person making the shit, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this goes into something I recently watched, saying that this is something about EA, mind you, which is kind of funny. EA used to to support developers and try to show what their value is, and now if you're a game company, you might want to keep away from the Grim Reaper that is EA.
Maybe this was like the 80s. So basically, in this story, uh, let's see. So today's Ubisoft Q1 earnings call made room for a handful of updates in the. Okay, I'm not going to read all that. So basically, Ken Rumpf of Jefferies came on during the QA to direct a question at Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, questioning what his level of responsibility was in the harassment, abuse, misogyny, and basically all the fucked up shit that's been going on. And basically, here's what he said. Okay, here's what he said. Okay. He says each time he said, I wanted to ask Yves Guillemot a question as founder and CEO of the company. Regarding what's happened recently, there are kind of three options. Either as CEO, you didn't know this was happening, which is not great. Or you perhaps didn't know enough and should have asked more. Maybe that's the answer. Or you knew, which of course would not be good. Now those are my possibilities. You may answer the question differently, but I'd like to ask what would be your answer to the question about your responsibility as CEO. So here's Guillemot's dissemblement. Each time we've been made aware of misconduct, we made tough decisions, bullshit, and made sure that those decisions had a clear and positive impact, bullshit.
Bullshit.
It has now become clear that certain individuals betrayed the trust I placed in them. Bullshit. They did exactly what they were told to do, which was bury this shit so that it didn't affect the game, and didn't adhere to Ubisoft's shared values. They did. They made sure that shit got done so that they could make money off the game. So I have never compromised on my core values and ethics, and I never will. That's true, because you'll do anything. You'd probably pimp your mom out to make money on the shit. So yeah. I mean, I think we can all agree that that's a load of horseshit. A load of horseshit, if you will.
Oh God. I think that we are seeing a pile that's big enough to be a tree.
Hey, what's going on?
How's it going, Kenoshi?
Just in time to talk about UB toilet.
UB shit?
Yep.
Yeah, it keeps on getting worse with Ubisoft. It really does. Like it just continues to get worse and worse and worse. I mean, like the level of dissemblement and everyone covering their ass and not protecting the people who needed protection. I mean, it's sad. It's fucked up. But, it is what it is. You have any thoughts about it, Kenoshi?
What did they do this time? What else did they do? What else came out?
Well, I mean, there was an investor meeting where a investor asked, rightly so, he's like, well, what are you doing? He's like, he says, I wanted to ask, he basically asked Yves Guillemot directly, either CEO, you didn't know this was happening, which is not great, or you perhaps didn't know enough and should have asked more, maybe that's the answer, or you knew, which of course would not be good. Now, those are my possibilities. You may answer the question differently, but I'd like to ask what would be your answer to your question about your responsibility as CEO. And Guillemot responds with, well, each time we've been made aware of misconduct, we made tough decisions and made sure that those decisions had a clear and positive impact. It's now become clear that certain individuals betrayed the trust I placed in them and didn't adhere to Ubisoft's shared values. So I've never compromised on my core values and ethics, and I never will. And I claim that's bullshit because they did exactly what they were told to do, which was bury that shit so that it didn't mess with the bottom line.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, the argument that somehow, through some mysterious alchemy, that, oh, well, this is just some random shit that happened. That's bullshit.
It's obviously not random.
You know, it's total and complete bullshit because I mean, you know, it's I mean this okay, look, if this happened once, but there's like 100 allegations.
Yeah.
Statistically, if there's 100 allegations of someone doing some shit, statistically, not all 100 of those allegations are bullshit. At least 10, 15, 20, 30% of them are true, which means you have a dude who is basically a serial rapist, and also drugging people. I mean, that's some Bill Cosby shit right there. And no one's saying anything. No one's like, I mean, it would be like if you went to, like imagine if you went to, imagine if you went to a, see, what's the word I'm looking for? Imagine if you went to a Walmart, right? And you were like, I'm gonna buy this shit from this Walmart, okay? And they're like, and you went in one of the aisles, you saw an employee raping a child. Like, you wouldn't go to that Walmart anymore, right?
Yeah.
You'd be like, how the hell?
I want to report that Walmart and then never see it ever again.
Yeah, you'd be like, hey, well, first of all, someone was raping a child in one of the aisles, and second of all, and then you went back to that Walmart, like, you didn't go back there, but you drove past there, and they like, not only are they not talking about the fact that someone was being taken advantage of at the Walmart, they don't even fucking mention that someone was raped at that Walmart. That's basically what's going on at Ubisoft. They're like, oh, we got caught doing this shit. Oh, well, let's not talk about it. Let's bury it.
Or I don't know if this is a possibility. This very well could be. I don't work for Ubisoft, nor have I really looked into this as much as you guys have. But maybe there's a conspiracy going on against those women, or maybe those who are sexually abused or claim to be sexually abused are conspiring against the company, or there just might be a feud between the employees and the upper management, and people are just trying to do each other dirty for whatever reason.
I could understand where you're coming from with this, but I have a counter to your counter. For women, typically speaking, when women are accuse someone of sexual assault or something like that, typically speaking, they get harshed out more than men do. So it's not to their benefit to come out and talk about how they're being like they get nothing out of it. And the fact that you have like 100 different counts, and this is just women, like I'm talking like people being called racial slurs, sexual slurs, stuff like that. So I mean, like they have no reason to to do that. You get what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I knew people in situations where they were accused of sexual misconduct, and it turns out that the whole thing was that the woman was lying about the whole thing, but she never got punished for lying about it.
That's true. I mean, look, listen.
I've seen a lot of
that can happen.
I've heard a lot of stories, and I've had
that
happen.
You're right. That can happen.
People.
But for every one person who says that, well, you know, for every woman or person who lies about that, there's probably 10 or 50, there's probably more than that. It's probably like 30, 40 cases where someone really was sexually assaulted and no one believed them. Which is the problem with, you know.
Now, why is that? Why aren't,
well,
maybe because there's because women who have been slighted in a relationship will lie on their boyfriend, so their ex-boyfriend did this, that, and the other.
Well, I mean,
which happens a lot more.
I can't really.
A lot more than many that I think most are uncomfortable admitting.
Well, the thing is, I can't really speak on other people. I've studied the sociological things going on about why people would lie about that type of thing. The thing that gets me is why people would um, why
People would ignore it.
well, why would there be years of people being molested, and why would people, instead of, because here's the thing, there are tons of cases where children or women were sexually assaulted, and there is literally uh like there is no fucking like these people were molested and no one said anything. I mean, look at the whole Catholic Church thing, and
What a mess that
or
was.
Penn State.
yeah, Penn State. People would walk in. People would walk into the bathroom, into the locker room. And this fucker would be raping the shit out of a young boy, and people reported it. People knew that this dude was doing it. Oh no, don't say nothing. There is no way.
Didn't say anything. Yeah, the higher ups never said.
Oh, they knew it.
They should be arrested too.
They knew it, because think about it. You might not remember this, but there was a time where Joe Paterno retired, and they were going to get Jerry Sandusky to be the new head coach of Penn State. And then, like the same year, they were like, "Oh no, Joe Paterno's coming back." The only reason they brought Joe Paterno back is because they knew that Jerry was doing that shit. They knew he was doing that bullshit. And they were like, "Oh, we can't have this shit. We can't. No." That's what that shit was about.
Yeah, that was my problem with the whole thing. It's like, why aren't these higher ups getting arrested too?
They should have. They should have arrested all of them. They should have arrested Jerry. Well, Jerry did get arrested. They should have arrested those higher ups. Same thing with Cincinnati State with Larry Nasser. I mean, these people are sick. And the thing is that there's so many, like, I get what you're saying. Yes, there are some people who lie about that, but there's been far more cases where someone was doing some dirty fucking shit and the shit was buried than someone lying about the shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I just know that you know. I mean, all I'm saying is that there should be an investigation. You shouldn't ignore what's going on.
So basically, yeah, Jerry Sandusky, like, I mean, look, listen, Ubisoft did this shit. They hid the shit, they buried it because they didn't want it to fuck with the games. But here's the thing, the quality of the games, like, Ubisoft hasn't made good games in years. I mean, the best Ubisoft games that I've played, well, actually, I'm not really into Ubisoft, but from what I heard, the best games that have come out from Ubisoft were the ones they made for Nintendo, or that were like smaller tier titles.
Single A or double A games?
No, their games were stuff like
Rabbits?
Kingdom Battle, Child of Light. They're smaller tier shit.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, Ubisoft has been having some. I remember they were about to get bought up by Vivendi.
Maybe that would have been a better thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe that would have been a better thing.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, that threat of having themselves being taken over kind of puts you in a do or die situation. And sadly, they didn't die.
I mean, it seems to be a big problem in the entertainment business. People taking advantage of men, women. Because even there, I mean, even in the entertainment and politics, even there are women who are complicit in this stuff.
Oh yeah, look at this shit with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
I mean, she was basically Jeffrey Epstein's pimp.
Yeah. See, like, it's a big thing in politics and entertainment to take advantage of people who want to get into those fields. Usually, women, or every once in a while, younger boys, or or young men took advantage of them sexually, and it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, basically, here's the thing. Here's what people need to understand about all this shit: molestation, rape, you know, forced sexual advances. It's not about sex. Sex is not the issue. You notice most of these cases is someone with power has power over someone else.
Yeah.
It's about power. It's not about sexuality. It's about I can do this and there's
Dominant.
nothing you can do to stop me. Exactly. You know, I can do this. I mean, like this dude, this fucker Haskowit, he was fucking going around giving people drugs, like drugging people, legit fucking drugging people, and there was nothing they could do. You know, telling people to get to drink to the point where they were sick, and then drink some more.
Yeah.
That's straight up stupid abuse.
Yeah.
And kind of makes me sick. Ugh.
So this is the shit we have to live with. It's just the sheer amount of
A-holery.
well, I mean, this is what we have to live with here in America. I mean, actually, I mean, shit. This shit with Ubisoft was worldwide. Their fuckery was in Singapore, Canada, France. I mean, it was global fuckery. You know, they're like, yeah, we're the French EA.
French EA.
I mean, EA is pretty shitty, but I haven't heard about them raping anybody. I mean,
EA has a higher standard.
when you do some shit where EA is like, God damn, when EA is like, man, you fucking crazy.
Yeah, if you do something that EA wouldn't touch, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, when EA looks at you and said, God damn, that's fucked up. You know you did some foul shit.
And remember, this is from the same company that has 2 golden pieces of dung.
Yeah, they're like, look, we just want to rape your wallet. We don't want to rape anybody, literally. When EA's like, God damn, man, that's too much. That's too far. You took it too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. That... Even I could give EA respect for at least not
Raping anybody that we know of. You know, it could come out. It could
Yeah.
come out in like. It could come out like next week. Hey, they were raping people at EA too. I'm like, oh, God damn, is no one safe? They just raping everybody around here. Aren't they?
If that ever, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if that ever happens, we will do a certain apology to Ubisoft and saying, sorry, we thought that you were the only ones that did this.
Oh no, I'm not gonna apologize to Ubisoft. Fuck Ubisoft. I'll be like, look, you've been fucking up. You've been fucking up. Everybody been fucking up. It's just the degrees of fucking up. See, here's the thing. There are different degrees of fucking up. I mean, let's keep it real, okay? Everyone this generation has been fucking up. Nintendo been fucking up. Microsoft been fucking up. Sony been fucking up. Like, everybody been fucking up, but there's degrees. Like, Nintendo's like, we're just doing some scummy shit that other people started doing 10, 15 years ago. Okay, you know, they're 15 years behind the curve and doing fucked up shit. Okay, but Ubisoft, people were getting raped and drugged.
Yeah.
I mean, I already quoted the thing in a video where this one dude, Haskowit, he said that this one VP, who was a woman, by the way, she was on his shit for doing something. I don't know what. He said, she's hurting my mind. She needs to be bent over a desk and fucked in the ass and passed around until her mind opens up. He said that. I'm like, God damn, this is clearly someone who does not like women. Because if you liked women, you wouldn't say some shit like that.
If you think, yeah, that's worse than the woman getting only compensation in the form of a $200 card that was you Visa card.
I didn't know about that, but it sounds like something they do.
That was from EA, mind you.
That sounds like something they do. Look. I wish it was only $200 versus someone basically saying some rapey, misogynist, I don't like women type thing. Because clearly, if you're a man, okay, allegedly a grown man, and you would say some rapey shit like that about a woman, you clearly don't like women. You don't like women. You clearly, because someone who likes women would not say some shit like that. Like, if you liked women, you would not say some rapey ass,
insultive bullshit like that.
He basically, yeah. And clearly,
this is one of the few times I'm gonna cut my sensor off right here.
Clearly, you've never been around a real woman, because if you said that to a real woman,
they'll be sure to have you either slapped, they have you arrested.
Well, no, they wouldn't do that. They put you on the NP list. The NP list is where women tell all their girlfriends about you, and you never get ass ever. Ever. You're on the no ass list. And I'll tell you right now, I do not ever want to be on the no ass list.
Thankfully, you aren't.
No, I have a steady girlfriend, so I'm not on the no ass list.
I can already tell your status. That's why.
But like if I said that to a woman, I guarantee you that woman would put you on the no ass list. Listen, and she's gonna tell every woman around her. Like, you know when women go to the bathroom and they all go together, they're telling each other shit like that. You know what that motherfucker said? No. Oh shit, he said that. Oh, he ain't never getting no ass. I mean, this is why this fucker was doing this shit, because legitimately, if he said that to a woman in public, she'd be like, oh no, you ain't never getting any. Hell, if I was a woman and a man said that to me, I'd be like, you know what? If you were the last working dick on planet Earth, I wouldn't give you any ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. You know that song where the dude's like, never, ever.
Never gonna get it.
No, Diamonds of Sierra Leone. Forever, ever, forever, ever, 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 forever, ever, never, ever would I give you any.
Oh, that one.
Never. But enough about Ubisoft and their fucked upness. Our old friend Philip Mewson strikes back again.
Wait, who struck again?
Philip Mewson. You know the guy who in 2018 got caught plagiarizing people's reviews?
Oh no.
Yeah, he came back from the dead.
I thought IGN had enough plagiarism problems to work with.
No, he came back. IGN is a hotbed of corrupt people, because have people forgotten that Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty got caught
If it was plagiarism,
No, they got caught accepting money for better reviews from Sony.
Oh, that's right. Oh God, I was hoping that was out. I was trying to keep that out of mind because that was one of the worst things to remember them with.
No, I think it's hilarious that everyone, like, you know how like all these, Greg Miller, he was podcast of the year. Have people forgotten that this motherfucker was have people forgotten that this motherfucker was
You're trying to find words, aren't you?
Now, have people forgotten that this motherfucker was caught fucking that he and his partner in crime were basically caught accepting money for better reviews from Sony. And that's what they were
Yeah.
caught with. I mean, there's probably other games that they did the shit and didn't get caught with. And everyone's like, "Oh, he's such a great journalist." Bullshit. He was taking bribes for better reviews.
And people wonder why a lot of reviewers are called out and saying that you were paid for this.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I kind of just gotta kind of be like, I mean, it's really kind of shady. Your thoughts on this, Kenoshi? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. So what was the question?
We were talking about how Colin Moriarty was caught and Greg Miller were caught buying, basically getting paid for reviews by Sony for their games.
The thing is, a lot of these big gaming publications are pretty corrupt. I mean, there are times where I'll see advertisements for big games that these people are. So it's like if you're selling ad space to publishers, selling these big games, or for example, I think it was IGN before PSVR came out. There were ads for PSVR all over their page. And it's just kind of like, how can we take your reviews seriously? You guys have ad space for your ad space for these companies.
Yeah.
How can we trust?
It's like you can't trust what they're saying because and they're getting paid. I mean, that's how they make their money is the advertisements. You think they're going to fuck up their money because of integrity? And so that's why when I see a journalist that does have some integrity, I'm like, oh, well, shit. This is a unicorn. Like you look at you see someone like Jason Schreier, who I don't agree with everything he does, but who actually does investigative journalism, which this leads back to Philip Mewson. Philip Mewson got caught in 2018 stealing people's reviews, like he was stealing other YouTubers' reviews. And so basically what he did was, this is Philip Mewson. This is good old Phil boy. Philip Mewson has the nerve, the cojones, the balls, if you will. the balls. He had the balls to basically go and he goes to when he's caught the first time, he says, well, I plagiarized, I may have stolen from some footage and some words from this one guy, but I dare you to find any other things that I plagiarized. He dared Jason Schreier, who is, I mean, whether or not you like him or not, is a professional journalist. And then he asked, he gave the entire community. He's like, well, we're gonna see if you got the stuff. It turns out that this dude had like 20 different reviews that he had plagiarized.
Never challenge the internet to find your dirty laundry.
Yeah, that's where he fucked up, really. That's...
Because there's people out there that know how dirty laundry looks.
And then when he got caught this time, he was like, well, I didn't, he finally got...
He ran out of words.
Yeah, he finally had to admit what he did, and he tried to do this like milquetoast. Well, like when your parents caught your ass doing something you had no business doing, and instead of you just admitting that you fucked up, you try to dissemble and pretend like it wasn't that big of a deal. You know?
Yeah.
That's basically what he did. But he finally had to break down and be like, okay, yeah, I fucked up. But then, because Philip Mewson just can't help himself, can't stop, won't stop. Now he's back. He's back, and now he's basically trying to get people to buy into this. I'm a new man. I'm coming back. But he's like joking about the shit. He's like, well, you know, he basically rebooted his channel with an honest, totally honest, truthful review of Dead Cells. And he's like joking about how he basically, he's like, well, this time it's going to be totally my opinion. He's like, I was so speechless with Dead Cells the first time that I stole the words of someone else in order to tell. Yeah, it's so tasteless.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you got. I mean,
it's funny, dude.
Literally, you know what Philip Mewson is like? Philip Mewson is like a dude who got caught fucking around on his girlfriend, right? Like, literally, his girlfriend walked in and caught him mid-pump. What are you doing? Oh, man, I wasn't doing nothing. No, she caught you. She's looking down at you, bro. Like,
what kind of script is that?
I wasn't doing nothing. Come on, brother. Like, everyone here knows what you were doing. Like, even the neighbors like, yeah, he was fucking around. Everybody can look at you and tell what you were doing. Like, how are you like, oh, no, well...
The only way it could get any worse is if it was caught on television.
Well, technically, it was caught on television because he videotaped the review. So yeah, it was caught on TV. He videotaped all of these reviews are reviews that he videotaped and either videotaped or made himself, and he basically, like, he did that shit. Like, Philip Mewson did this shit himself. So it's really hard for me to feel sorry for good old Philly boy, for Philly Cheese right there. I know that's not his name, but I'm giving it to him now. For Philly Cheese, Philly Mucinex. That's not a good name. I shouldn't say that. And now he's all like, well, so he goes on Twitter and he's like trying to attack people for calling him out on his bullshit, which is just really... kind of tasteless, really. You know, like, how are you gonna attack people? Because here's the thing, okay, in journalism and novels and shit, if you plagiarize some shit, your credibility is shot. Like, no one's ever gonna listen to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one has any reason to listen to you again because you're a liar. You're a known liar. Like, no one has any reason to listen to you. And that's basically what happened with this guy, you know? Like, he's all like, well, you know, people need to... It's like, dude, you lied. No one forced you to do that shit. You,
and only you, are the one that is screwed up on this.
No one forced you to... Like, no one... Like, here's the thing, okay? I'm pretty sure all of us have had to write research papers at some point in our academic careers, okay?
Hand up.
Everyone here has had to write a research paper, and everyone here... Well, I've never had the urge to just copy shit from a source, unless I was quoting. Which, I mean, like, here's the thing. He could have quoted the guy's shit. He could have been like, look, this is what this guy said about this game. I agree with him. And then going into his own spiel about how it's different. But he's not even a good thief. It's like, if you're going to do that, why would you do some stupid shit like that? But, you know, Philly Cheese is not a smart person.
Yeah, especially if you dare the if you dare somebody of the if you dare the world to find what you did wrong.
Well, the thing is, plagiarism is a lazy man's crime. Because basically, you're not
It's
really.
so easy to not. It's so easy to not do the crime, right?
Well, no, because basically plagiarism is about okay. Basically, like all the people I've ever seen who plagiarize some shit, the way they did it, the reason they did it from when I was in school was because they basically wanted to do something. Okay, like they had a deadline to meet, and they didn't want to take the time to do the shit right, or they waited until the last minute to start that paper. Okay, and rather than go and do the shit the first time or get started early, they're gonna just copy a whole bunch of shit and change a few words around to make it seem like it's their own words. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And that's what Philly Cheese did. So I don't know what to say, except good old Philly Cheese fucked up. Um, and he should have known better. I mean, I think we can all agree that Philly Cheese should have known better, and him trying to come back now is just sad and pathetic. You know, him like, well,
Yeah, it's clear that he screwed not not just once, but so much it's a surprise that he's still in business.
well, I don't think he's still. I think that channel is. I think like Phil is gonna have to rebrand himself and do something different, but no one is gonna take his opinion seriously on shit that he's like trying to like talk about anymore. Cause why?
Feels it feels like the what was it? Oh yeah. It feels like that we keep getting wait after wait after wait of of BS that can make Michael Pachter embarrassed.
Well, I mean, Michael Pachter just says whatever the hell he wants, but this dude was literally he was stealing people's work, which is just really unethical. I mean, that's really fucked up, Oh, well, I'm too lazy to actually, do my own work. I'm going to take yours, though. Let me copy your work, because I'm a lazy bastard. I mean, that's the only way I can really describe what Philly Cheese did back there. But hey, to each his own. But with that being said, I guess we can move on to the next topic. I think we've gone on Philly Cheese enough.
If you unless you're eating Philly cheesesteak, I think we got enough of a Phil.
Ironically, I did not eat Philly cheesesteak for dinner. I had hot and sour soup from my local Chinese carryout / delivery place. So our other little bit of news is that Nintendo Direct Mini.
I didn't really watch it. I just kind of glanced through it. Apparently, they showed gameplay for Shin Megami. So they showed a trailer for it.
Yeah, they showed the trailer.
And they just announced little things here and there. I think the ocean of the Nintendo
Mini?
Ocean of Tears, grew about 6 more feet that day.
People crying like little bitches. They didn't make the game I wanted. They didn't make the game. It's like, dude,
They were
Me-
upset. That was only like a 10-minute direct, and not to mention, because I saw the like to dislike ratio, and it was pretty bad. So
Well,
it's
first of
like,
It
all,
was
they
could have
told
sold out. I
these
was like, well, whatever.
they
split the
told these
room.
motherfuckers, look, it's a direct mini. It's only going to be shit from our third party partners. What did
Yes,
you
that's the
expect?
thing. They split the room basically. Chink. And here's the thing I'm gonna be honest about. Personally, I was into two of those things. One of those things I was clearly not interested in, and one I just looked at and said, "Why are we getting this?"
What was the why are you getting this one?
WWE.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
I'm not really into those kind of games, but it's kind of nice to see that somebody's making a arcadey sports game
Yeah,
rather than a sports sim.
yeah. I'm not angry about that. I'm like, it's about damn time that people stop trying to make everything wrestling into a well, it's like a simulation, dude. I don't want to play.
Maybe we can get like an arcadey football game or an arcadey
Yeah.
basketball game again.
Exactly.
Same thing. Yeah, the thing is that it kind of reminds me. It kind of makes me miss Def Jam.
Yeah, Def Jam Vendetta, Def Jam Fight for New York, shit like that.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
makes me
like-
miss that.
I like stupid shit like that. Like not every game has to be this ultra serious, with stats and all this shit. Like my favorite wrestling game of the 16-bit generation, actually my favorite wrestling game period is Saturday Night Slam Masters, which is just it's basically Final Fight but in a wrestling ring. Like it's like Street Fighter and Final Fight in a wrestling ring, and I love it. It's ridiculous.
That I could agree on. So if anything, the only time I ever gotten into wrestling games is the Def Jam series.
I mean, I consider those beat 'em ups, but I mean they're basically wrestling games too. Any game that lets you have Curtis 50 Cent Smith beating up people, you already have caught my attention. Because that is so weird and so random. Curtis 50 Cent Smith. But,
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I could see that shit being brought back. It's the reason that I bought Streets of Rage 4. Even though I don't really like Streets of Rage 4, I don't find it that enjoyable of a beat 'em up. I know some people are gonna get mad at me when they hear that. You don't like Streets of Rage 4? It's not terrible, but it's not ultra enjoyable to me.
I can at least see where you're coming from, and this is from somebody that enjoys the Final Fight.
Well, I mean, Streets of Rage is very different from a Final Fight. Like, even though Streets of Rage is very much inspired by Final Fight, they play completely differently. So, but yeah, I want that. I want that shit to get better. I know that's a hard topic for some people to understand. But, I don't need for shit to be like
Ultra Simulation.
no. No, there's only one. Like, really, I like more arcadey stuff anyway. I don't like all that like ultra realistic. I can see the sweat on his face. Like, why the fuck would I want to see a dude sweat on his face? I don't get that.
I I would rather have better AI than just some eye candy.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in.
Yeah, and for the one that I wasn't interested in, it was that battle royale like game, as far as I could tell.
The wrestling battle royale game.
No, I mean the
Oh,
other
you
game
mean
that,
the first person shooter? I mean the third
yeah,
person shooter. Yeah, that was kind of meh to me.
yeah. I'm not really interested in anything like that. At least usually. So that would leave me with the Shin Megami Tensei announcements that hypes me up some, and Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah, I mean, I like Shin Megami Tensei 5, but the thing is that all we saw for Shin Megami Tensei 5 was just a trailer. And anyone who's played a Shin Megami Tensei game, they're like, "Oh man, the god has died, the demons have taken over the earth." That's every fucking Shin Megami Tensei game. That's not anything new in the Shin Megami Tensei game. None of those games have happy settings. I mean, arguably, you couldn't have a Shin Megami Tensei game if shit wasn't fucked up. But hey, I could be wrong. So yeah, people are like losing their shit. Oh my god, it's Shin Megami Tensei 5, and they only showed this. I'm like, dude, what did you expect them to show? I'm more mad that the game has been delayed to 2021 because they announced that game. That game was announced, and when was that game announced? Um,
I think that was last year.
no, Shin Megami Tensei 5 was announced. That game was announced when they announced the Switch. That was
Yeah,
not
it was
announced
announced
last year.
2017. Yeah, it was announced a while ago.
And it took them that long just to come out with that?
Yeah, I just not so much though. It's just I don't know. I just think people are.
I mean, I know. Look,
They're crazy, and I think people are crazy. So.
look. I know it's an RPG, and RPGs tend to be more resource intensive. They're one of the more resource intensive. But Atlas has been using the same damn engine for all their games, so that's really not, you know. Whatever.
Then you said they've been using the same engine for so long, but now you got me remembering Bethesda with that line. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but I mean, none of their games are as broken as Bethesda. Like, I've never played a Persona game and been like, man, this game is hella broken. Like, I would say the most buggy Bethesda game was maybe the most buggy Atlas game I've played is maybe, I want to say, maybe Trauma Team on the Wii, the two Trauma Team games. But that wasn't because the game was buggy. It was because of that damn what's it called? The motion control was a little iffy. But motion control on most of the games on the Wii was kind of like iffy. Like even the games that had Wii Motion Plus, the motion control wasn't great. So I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, you know, that's the worst thing ever. So yeah, personally, I just think that I think people I think people are just losing their shit over a non-issue. You know, was it a great mini direct? No. Was it terrible? No. It was informative. You learned about games that were coming to the system. And I
Yeah.
mean, they could blame a lot of this on COVID-19, although really Nintendo wasn't really telling anyone shit last year either. So, I mean,
They are,
how much of this
if
can you
anything, I
just
feel
blame
like it's secretive.
yeah, how much of this can you just blame on COVID? I don't know. I think COVID had a part of it. And just Nintendo. Look, Nintendo is starting to get arrogant because the Switch is selling, and they have games that are making money with the Switch.
Yeah.
And when Nintendo gets arrogant, they start getting like this. And you know, hopefully their next console, they won't get so arrogant that they got to get slapped. Because that's the problem with Nintendo. Sometimes they get too arrogant. They got to get checked. They're constantly, I mean, they're kind of like Rick James. They're kind of like Rick James from the Chappelle Show. They're constant, but that's not just Nintendo. That's Sony. That's Microsoft got arrogant for no goddamn reason. But Sony, Nintendo, they have a good generation. They get arrogant, and then they start doing, arrogant shit.
Yeah, and this is apparently the first time they are without Iwata. So I mean, the first system they have without Iwata. So I'm wondering how they're gonna fare.
Not really.
Gonna be a little...
I mean, they got through the NES, the SNES, the Game Boy, the Game Boy Color. Like really, at this point, like I would say half of Nintendo's video game, like as a major home console, as a major video game company, half of it was with Iwata. So we're in a new era now. The Fujiwara, is that the new guy's name? Fujiwara? I can't remember. The new guy's, thing.
Yeah, I was thinking this is the first system with the new guy.
And well, actually, no, because Iwata was there. Iwata really did a lot of the groundwork for the Switch. So.
Ooh.
And he did. He did a lot of the groundwork for the Switch. So. Really, we won't know what this guy is really in control of until the next console or handheld is released. So, hopefully it'll be something interesting. Maybe. Maybe not.
Oh, and I guess
Fingers
another
crossed.
bright side about the Shin Megami 5 release is that it'll be a simultaneous release.
Yeah, but I mean,
I guess Atlas has the money to do that. Whatever.
I mean, but Sega's doing the same thing on a lot of games. Because one of the big games that was announced by Sega is that they're releasing Ryuga Gotoku 7, aka Yakuza 7, October 29th. I think. Let me check, because it's coming out everywhere. Here, let me check. Ryuga Gotoku 7. Ryuga Gotoku 7. Ryuga Gotoku. Yeah, it's coming out October. Yakuza 7 release date. Shit. Damn it! It doesn't say. I already pre-ordered mine because I'm a fan of that franchise. Don't be like me though. I haven't played a disappointing Yakuza game yet. It's my guilty pleasure. Like some people, like even shitty Yakuza games. It's coming out 2020, but they don't give us the exact time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be released. Damn. Okay, fine then. They finally said it. It is going to be released. Damn. Well, apparently in November, sometime in November, that's what's going to be released. So, so that's what we know. All right. So, I mean, and that's going to be a simultaneous release, and it's going to be dubbed in English, which kind of makes me mad because I like the Yakuza games that are in Japanese, because I don't like listening to the English voice actors.
I was about to say, hopefully they allow you to have dub and sub.
No,
Or
I
at
think
least
it's
two different languages.
I think it's dub only, which kind of it's
Okay.
yeah, it's landing sometime in November, so we don't know what time. Hopefully, they're probably going to do it either before the 19th, because that's when what's his name launches. Cyberpunk 2077. So basically, for me, I pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077 and I pre-ordered this game. So essentially, November is going to be a busy month for me. I'm going to be playing a lot of games. I'm going to be playing. I got a lot of games to play. So, if you like playing games, yeah. And for those of you, the difference in this new Yakuza game is that apparently the main character early on in the game gets shot in the head, and he has brain damage. So to him, apparently in the real world, the fights are like the typical normal beat 'em up style of a Yakuza game. But because of his brain damage, he sees everything as a turn-based combat like an RPG. Which is kind of, that seems like they took a page from what's the from that Obsidian game that came out.
What Obsidian game is that?
The Obsidian game. The Obsidian game that came out earlier this year, The Outer Worlds.
Oh, Outer Worlds.
Where like your special ability, because you basically were brain damaged, is that you can slow down time. I mean, that's a hell of a special ability. You're like, oh man, I have a disability, but it gives me a special power. So is it really a disability? But anyway, so anyway, yeah. I like the game. I wanted to do better. I want it to be good. I want all that shit to be good. I hope it gets better. So I guess we can keep it moving to the next topic. If we have any questions, we have no questions. Oh no, Trinell83 says, I believe it was announced in 2017 regarding Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm just happy it was announced and not canceled. Well, Trinell83, I'm going to keep it real. I think Nintendo and Atlas have spent too much money getting this game developed for them to just be like, yeah, we're going to cancel it.
I was about to say, if they pull off a Legend of Zelda moment, then I'm gonna face palm.
Although, I mean, at this point, it's supposed to come out next year. I mean, next year will be the 4th year of this console's life cycle. It will, by that point, have been
4 rounds of Switch.
Well, I mean, at that point, once you're in the 4th year of a console's life cycle, you're getting towards the end. Okay, so I'm a bit hesitant. I'm a bit sad that this game is coming out at the end of the life cycle of the console, because, I mean, just from my personal point of view, I would prefer the game to come out I would have preferred it to have come out earlier, but that's just me.
Hey, if anything, some games take time to come out, and I can understand that.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So your mileage may vary because of that line. I mean, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, that took a long time to come out.
Well, the thing that bothers me about this game is, I mean, the last Shin Megami Tensei that came out was Shin Megami Tensei
4?
4, and that was for the 3DS. And then they did a re-release of that, and they've re-released so many other games. And I'm like, the time and energy you spent re-releasing all these games, you could have put out this game. It could have been out already. Because, I mean, for the Switch, a lot of the highest selling games on the Switch are ports. Okay?
Which is a double-edged sword.
Even Animal Crossing, I mean, play that game. That game looks like they use the same engine that they used on the 3DS version of Animal Crossing. Just it's up res because they have more power for better textures and resolutions and stuff. It's not like, oh my god, this is a brand new game or anything. And don't get me started with Pokemon.
Oh boy!
I swear that game started life.
The two of us could really rage on Pokemon with that one.
That game started life as a
3DS.
As a 3DS game, and then they slid it over when when they're like, yeah, the 3DS is about to end it, so we need to move it over to something else. And I know people are going to be like, it's not over. Look, listen, okay, the 3DS had a good run, but at this point, it's moved on to something else. Okay, they're all in on the Switch. So that's just the way you got to deal with reality. Can't stick your head in the sand and be like, oh, if I ignore it, it doesn't exist. So that's how it is. Am I happy about it? I don't feel strongly either way.
Blessing.
I don't feel strongly either way because I mean I like the Switch has some games that I enjoy, but most of them I'm kind of like meh about. I know some people are going to get angry when they hear that. They're going to be like, how could you be mad about some of these games? Because a lot of the biggest games on the Switch are ports of things I already have.
For me, I'm basically enjoying it because some of the games that I play in, they might be ports or sequels, but they managed to actually make me smile enough to actually enjoy them.
I mean, for me, I'm not excited about playing something that I already own. And in some cases, the best version of the game is on the older console. It's kind of like some ports of Wii games where the port is worse. The port is worse than the original.
I think you're poking Splatoon with that one, aren't you?
No, I mean, look at something like I mean, Wonderful 101. The best version of Wonderful 101 is you know, is the Wii U version. That's the best version of Wonderful 101 is on the Wii U. Not the one that's on PS4, PC, all that stuff. Think about that. So forgive me.
I mean, it was designed for the Wii U, so what do you expect?
Well, I'm not. I mean, that's not what surprises me. What surprises me is that people acting all like, when it gets ported, oh, this port's great. I'm like, look, man, the shit was built for something else. So why are you all like acting all weird about it? Now, well, it's got to be this. I'm like, look, man, I don't trust it. Like I said, I prefer I prefer the original. Like Mario Kart 8, I prefer that on the Wii. For one thing, I prefer it on the Wii U because I didn't have to pay for online multiplayer on the Wii U. It was included with the price of the console, which is always good. For another thing, like you know, like I spent with the 2 season passes, I spent like $85 on that game, like a good amount of money on that game, and like you know, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm not saying it's the best. Actually, I'm not a big Mario Kart fan. I prefer Diddy Kong Racing, to be honest with you.
I was about to say, Diddy Kong Racing only had one run in a remix.
And that re thing sucked.
The remix, I'll be honest with you, it makes me glad and sad to not have the Silver Coin Challenge be the way you to get some things.
It's not good. It's not good. Like literally, the only reason they remade that game for the DS was to showcase the stylus. And I'm like, no one wants to play a racing game with a damn stylus.
Unless you're basically controlling the character like you're driving a car.
No, not even like that. No one wants to play a racing game with a stylus.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the worst combination that you could pull off of that. That would be acceptable.
So I'm sorry, but I just know some people are going to get angry by that. They're going to be like, well, I like, stylus and microphone. Like you had to blow into.
Oh God! Don't remind me of the hovercraft.
You had
power.
to blow in order to get your hovercraft to work to do, instead of just pressing a button like every other kart racing game where you had to have time the button presses. No, we're gonna have a little mini game. Like this is the thing that bothers me about Nintendo. They're like, oh man, sometimes they do shit just to be. They're like, oh, we're doing this to be cool. Oh, it's gonna be so awesome just to be different. Look, man, you don't need innovation in everything. Okay, you don't. Seriously, you don't need it in everything.
I was about to say that's the problem with being experimental. Sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes, well, it's like trying to combine pop rocks and soda. You're gonna get a mess.
Not everything needs to be innovative. Sometimes people just want what they want. Okay? They want simple and to the point. It's like basically Nintendo is like you. It's like your favorite. You go to your favorite. It's like you go. It's like you go. It's like your mom's home cooking. Okay, your mom cooks something that you love, absolutely love, right? Something that you love. It's like your favorite thing, and then one day you hear the words that you dread. I tried something different. No. Don't do that. I don't want to listen. I want you to make it like you've been making it for the last 20 goddamn years. Don't try something different.
Leave it alone. Leave the shit alone.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it the way you make it all the time. That's why I like it, because you make it the way I like it. What we doing now? Oh well, I tried. No, Nintendo is like that person. It's like, oh, we tried something. No. I mean, I'm doing a review on a franchise that they literally they had the perfect recipe, and now they're like, oh, I want to try something different. No, stop trying something different. Listen, I like how you make your peach cobbler. Don't be trying. Oh well, I added a little bit of almond liqueur to the batter. No, I want you to make it like you've been making it.
I think I know how to describe all the companies in a sense.
Shoot,
Nintendo's like the grandma that always has something real good, but sometimes you dread the words that she's trying something different.
Oh, honey, I tried something different. No! No! She's like, oh, like you go to grandma's, she makes the macaroni and cheese every year. But one day you hear the dreaded words you never want to hear from grandma. Baby, I tried something different. No! No! No, dear God, no! No, Jesus, no!
Leave it alone.
It was perfect. Yeah. No, I mean it's basically I'm gonna explain how Nintendo is with
Oh boy.
with their games right now. Nintendo is like somebody. They're like someone who it's like you had the perfect recipe. Why are you changing it? It's like, no, I had to change it. No, you didn't. You literally didn't have to change a damn thing. It was perfect. I mean, they've been doing the same thing. Like they did the same thing to Star Fox, right? Like for years, like Star Fox is like, oh, we need to add this. We need to add this. No, literally, all you have to do to make a good Star Fox game is just look, it's an on-the-rail shooter. Stop trying to add all this weird shit to it. Okay? It's just an on-the-rail shooter. That's it. Stop trying to change this shit up. Oh, well, we can make it better. No. Stop it. Stop doing that. It's annoying. Okay, I likes what I likes. And you had the formula perfect too. Cause really, like think about it. What was the last really good Star Fox game?
The last Star Fox that I really enjoyed is the Star Fox 64. And I know that you're gonna be punching me with the
No, look.
first one.
That's your opinion. Look, Star Fox 64. I don't personally like it because I'm a fan of the original.
SNES.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the original. But Star Fox 64 is just it's just a remake of the original with better graphics and music. In my opinion, it's not quite as good, but better graphics and all range mode. It's basically the best hits of Star Fox 1 and Star Fox 2. That's all it really is. It's not adding anything new to the formula. It doesn't, it's not, oh, well, we did this revolutionary thing. It's just a remix of the original Star Fox and Star Fox 2. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And it's better because of it. Okay? Like, Star Fox Assault was Star Fox Command was Because they keep on trying to add new shit to it. It's like, oh, it's got to be different. No! Star Fox is an on-the-rail arcade shooter. That's all it needs to be. Stop trying to add all this different stuff to it. That's how you keep on fucking it up. It's like, anyone here ever seen Scary Movie 2?
I've been trying to keep away from that parody series.
Well,
I mean,
the first two movies are the only good ones. The third, like after the first two, they suck. But in the second movie, there's this thing where there's this poltergeist woman who apparently isn't really a poltergeist. She's just so ugly that she scares men to death because she's really, 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 really horny because every time she takes off her mask, the dudes have a heart attack. So she's so ugly. Well, the black guy, played by Marlon Wayans, figures out a way around this. He puts a bag over her head. So there's this scene in the movie where she comes out and she's like, without her mask, without the bag over her head, he's like, ah! And then it flashes back to him, and he's actually he's having sex with her, and she tries to take the mask off. He's like, no, keep the mask on, don't fuck it up. That's how I feel with Nintendo, with them trying new shit all the time. It's like, hey, don't fuck it up. Just leave it the way it is. Don't fuck it up. Just stop fucking it up for the sake of, well, we did something different. No! for men who have girlfriends, it's like when your girlfriend changes her hair just to change it up. It's like, I like it that way. Don't change it. I like it. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up. Please don't fuck it up.
YMMV.
Don't. Come on, man. Don't fuck it up, please. I don't want them to. I want them to. It's like, look, once you got the perfect form, it's like a recipe. It's like barbecue, right? Like once you have the perfect formula, right, and you've perfected the formula, then you can experiment with the formula. But once you get the formula down, don't fuck it up.
And here's where I'm gonna have to say you just stepped into it, because there's some series that shouldn't change, and yet some series that should change, or in this case, there's some series that went too far, and then there's some series that haven't went far enough.
Well, I mean, I feel the same thing about. I feel the same way about Legend of Zelda. Like, I don't like Breath of the Wild because they changed the formula. A formula that's been, in my opinion, it's been solid for like 30 years. 33 years? Because Legend of Zelda came out in 87. So, yeah, 33 years. 33 years. Well, 30 years the formula been working. They got to change it up.
I was saying that because, well, there's series that shouldn't change it up but do change it up. And then there's series that quote unquote changed it up but haven't changed at all.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, look, listen, okay, look. There's some things I like to see experimental, like, like a 2D, like a Mario game, right? Mario at this point is at the point where you can put Mario in anything practically, and it'll be something interesting. Like a traditional, like, Mario Golf, Mario Sports, Mario Tennis, like
he's that versatile.
Well, I mean, he's a franchise character. You can put him in all types of shit. That's kind of like Cool Spot. Remember those Cool Spot games back in the day? Except Mario actually has good games, whereas those Cool Spot games. No, the first Cool Spot's pretty good, but after that, it just kind of got stupid. But
I just had to groan about that and a laugh because I saw where that was going.
I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, so Cool Spot, Nintendo, Mario, you can put him in a lot of stuff.
He's not Ambrosia, but he's close.
You can put him in a lot of stuff. Now, I don't think everything Mario's in is great. I'm not every Mario game is like, oh my god, this is the shit. But I think most of them, by and large, are pretty good. Mario Picross can go eat a bag of dicks, though. I hate that game. I hate that franchise.
I was about to say, Picross is basically Picross, and well, unless you're into puzzles, you might want to look everywhere for it.
It's like you're coloring in shit with the appropriate colors, and that's all you do. I mean, that's just lame. I mean, I know people are like, oh no, it's awesome. It's lame to me, but and I know some people say, oh, you just don't understand it because you don't like complicated things. I've been playing puzzle games for years, all right? I love puzzle games. I just don't care about...
puzzle games with Mario.
No, I just think Picross is stupid.
Ooh.
I'm not, really into it, but we got a little bit of time left because it's been a while, and so we can go a little bit longer. So we have a final little segment we like to do. I think we've exhausted everything we like. Anyone has anything else they want to say about the Nintendo Direct?
people just relax, and I'm sure there's a decent amount of games on your even on your Switch for some of these people that they haven't played yet.
Yeah,
Because a lot of these people complaining about you know droughts or whatever. You know, a lot of these people own multiple systems,
yeah,
and
yeah,
but I understand the other side too.
yeah. Look, if
You pay $300 for a system, you want to be able to play games on it. I get that too, but
yeah,
a lot of these people buy games, play them once, and they don't play them again. So, I don't know.
here's what I'm gonna say. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. If all you have is a Switch, I mean, if you're okay with playing a lot of ports, like a lot of fucking ports of shit that you either already own. Then the Switch is not. You're not gonna love it. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You're not gonna love the Switch if you're okay with a lot of ports of shit that you already own. Now, there are some good single player games, but really a lot of the games that are on the Switch are also getting ported over other shit. So the exclusives are kind of like where I'm kind of like, okay, this is. If you don't like a more competitive Smash Brothers, if you don't like a more competitive online, Splatoon 2 is okay. It's not as good as the original. Yeah, I said it. I said it. God damn it. I know people are gonna get mad. How could you say that? Look, man. Some of them just aren't that good. The one good thing I'll say about the one good thing I'll say about Splatoon 2 is that it's got more single player content. The single player is not quite as interesting as single player in the first game. In my opinion, it's not as interesting. But aside from that, it's pretty good. But that's my own personal opinion. I know some people are gonna get mad about that. They're gonna be like, "How could you say that?" It's an opinion, you know. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. But that's just me. With that being said,
You want to save it for tomorrow, or for next time, or you want to try it now?
no, I mean we got we have one last little segment which I want to get through while everyone's here. It's the unpopular opinion, and unpopular opinions are relatively short, so it didn't take a long time to do. So here's my unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is this. Everyone is saying that this year in gaming is kind of bland, aside from the new console releases. I say even without the new console releases, this is going to be a good year. We've got Cyberpunk 2077 coming out. That's a big game. That's a big, huge game. Okay?
Yep.
Okay? We got Yakuza coming out. A new Yakuza game coming to the East. We got some good stuff coming out. People need to stop being, oh, there's nothing to play. Look, listen.
There's a lot of games that are out there. Some digital, some physical, but still, there's a number of beeping games.
Look, if all you have is a Switch, there's even shit coming out on the Switch, okay? So, I don't know about this year, but I'm sure Nintendo has something coming out. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like, we ain't got shit. That doesn't make sense. I think they have something coming out. They gotta have something coming out. Hopefully. Maybe, I don't know. So, people need to calm down and stop acting like whiny little babies. Um,
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's really bizarre.
People need to stop acting like little children. Oh, well, they're not making games that I want to play. Well, then, damn, there's other.
Hey,
Look, listen.
There's
You can play
there's
shit on
different
PC.
flavors.
You can play stuff on on other consoles. You know,
There's even board games.
and this is kind of a surprise for you people. You can go open a book. I mean, there's tons of shit you could be doing aside from playing, video games. If there's nothing to play. Now I realize you're like, I spent all this money. Okay then, I understand that. Okay, I bought a game that I'm really not enjoying as much as, well, I mean, I'm enjoying it, but it's like not like, I'm enjoying it like when you're hungry and you wanted something to eat, but it's not the best thing you could be eating, but you're hungry and you just want something. So I'm enjoying it. And, I mean, is this the best game I've ever played? No, it's not the worst game I've ever played either. It's just, it's okay. But, hey, I spent, $300+ on this. I got to get something out of it. So, people need to calm down and stop acting like whiny little bitches. Stop acting like whiny little bitches. That's my mantra. Calm down, stop acting like whiny little bitches. anyone have any other unpopular opinions they want to share before we wrap things up?
Oh boy. This is probably where I'm gonna be a little odd with it, but I actually consider D&D to be good both digitally and physically.
Oh, I don't blame you.
And I'm saying this because people are sick and tired of having to have so many things around trying to organize them, and I get where they're coming from. The only thing is that whether you get it by D&D books or by a D&D module, you're just playing some good old beeping D&D and having fun with friends and all that kind of stuff.
And that's all you really need in the end of the day, really. I agree. I 100% agree.
Nothing could replace having a session where you could kick a evil warlock in the orbs.
Yeah. It's like you hit the evil warlock with a nutcracker. He's on the floor. He's incapacitated. He ain't getting back up. By the way, am I the only one who giggled when they said a nutcracker sweep because you thought a nutcracker was a wrestling move where someone literally got smashed in the balls? It's like, oh my god, he hit him with another nutcracker! He's never gonna have children, ever! No, I agree. I think that like always having physical for everything, for some shit, it's so much easier to just have virtual dice than trying to keep all that shit. Yeah, I've got the nice dice that are all expensive and all nice, that like holographic dice that you put them in your hand, the shit warms up and changes colors. But I ain't got time to be taking all that shit out every time I want to play a game. I ain't got time for that.
At least for me, I consider having a physical meetup every now and then to at least bring the joy over to the people and really get into the action.
Let me put it this way: with COVID the way it is, and the fact that I don't like people coming to my house.
I mean,
I'm at the point now.
I mean, just to have anything in the past, that's why I was thinking that. But with what's going on now, I I do miss it, but I know that I could wait longer for this to reside.
Every time people come to my house, like literally every time people come to my house, people are always like trying to start some shit. Like every time people come to my house for a D&D or a Shadowrun game or homebrew game, like okay, like I'll invite like what happens is I'll invite 3 people, 4 people. One person will invite someone who hasn't played before, or if they played, I didn't play a game with them, and they will fuck up the game for everybody else. Like there's a guy trying to be funny, or
You have to be that. You have to be that DM that face palms every time somebody new comes in.
no, because just for me, 75% of the time, the new person tries to fuck up the game, because basically, like, okay, look, when I play a game, I try to be very
On the track.
we're trying to be cool, and this dude just fucks it up for everybody. Or it'll be a guy trying to hook up with a girl. He's just like doing
Really?
stuff to be really kind of
Creepy.
like, yeah, well, this girl did this. I'm like, come on, man, no.
Yeah, they might as well be a bard at this point. Sorry, bards.
Bards try to seduce everything, but that's what bards do.
Yeah, I said sorry, bards, because because even though I know you guys are nymphomaniacs, you sometimes don't need to be grouped with some people.
Yeah, but that's what bards do. They try to seduce. They try to seduce everything. That's their job, really. Bards are there to charm the shit out of everybody. Like, like here's how you know you're a master level bard. When you can seduce a succubus into falling for you and letting you off and your friends in a demon's castle, you, sir, or madam, are one of the most badass bards of all time. And that's the type of cool shit I've done in campaigns. When the dice were rolling properly, like that's how you know you've reached the pinnacle. Or when you're so badass that you can seduce a dragon. Like what's his name in Shrek? Donkey seduced the dragon. Do you know how badass of a bard you have to be to seduce a dragon?
You
Wow.
probably need natural 20s, or you need the highest stat you could possibly snag in charisma.
Now, that's what he did. He seduced a dragon. I mean, do you know how badass you have to be in order to seduce a dragon and live? Have kids with the dragon.
Yeah.
That is the
So-
ultimate bard. I mean,
So,
seriously.
I was
You
about
might
to
as
say,
well have won the game. Because like a lot of that, a lot of the real fantasy stuff, dragons aren't necessarily mindless beasts. They're
they're quite intelligent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty sentient. They have a large amount of sentience.
So, I mean, another reason why I don't like Tolkien or
Make it rolling.
Rowling, because they fuck up dragons. And when you write fantasy, you mess up dragons. I gotta be like, okay, I can't trust your judgment because you messed up one of the most
Dragon.
iconic characters in this franchise, which are dragons. Dragons are like iconic fantasy
Yeah.
fodder. Like, if you have a fantasy world and you don't have dragons or a dragon equivalent, I'm kind of like, well, what's been going
mean-
on? What are you doing?
If anything, if I can only imagine their interpretation of Bahamut. Oh God, that would be a frightening nightmare.
Well, most fantasy doesn't have Bahamut. Bahamut as, like D&D Bahamut.
I said their version of it, as in what would they consider it.
I mean, they have dragons, but it's not like
Yeah.
not the
If
cool
they-
dragons.
And if they screw up normal dragons, I actually fear how that will turn out. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you read Harry Potter. Her version of dragons are trash.
Yeah, they're like dogs. They're like stupid dogs.
Well, I mean, it's like having a wild animal. It's like having a wild animal in your house. You know, it's like, oh man, I got a tiger in my house. That's basically a dragon.
Yeah. Kind of feel like a lot of the fantasy elements that she takes were not completely thought about.
Now, well, her stories aren't really about fantasy. They're more like, okay, we're going to talk about, like her stuff is more about, these kids, you know.
Yeah.
Like her stuff is more about like, well, we got to make these kids and all this stuff and these children. I'm like, I don't really care about these kids. I mean, not all of them. I mean, you like Harry and Ron and Hermione, but the rest of them, you're like, I don't care about these damn kids.
Yeah.
Draco Malfoy. Can we just kick this kid in the nuts and get rid of him, please? Because I don't like him.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with the Harry Potter. Is like a lot of the other characters are just nothing more than plot devices to move the story along, rather than, really, you know, the, parts to help build the world. Like,
Yeah.
Cedric Diggory was just nothing more than a plot. Was nothing more than a plot point. To,
Yeah.
Get Harry to Voldemort or whatever. So I don't know. I never, I know people got upset when Cedric Diggory died, but I just never. In the eighth book, which is a screenplay, it basically, talks about this throwaway character, and it's just kind of like,
Retcons a lot of shit.
yeah. Cedric Diggory was mentioned in the third book, and then he was at one of the Quidditch matches, and then he and Harry were competing or kind of helping each other get through the Triwizard Tournament, but I just didn't feel like he was really that much of a character.
And to be honest, I mean, let's keep it real. Harry Potter, a lot of the characters in Harry Potter, like the side characters, are kind of, how can I put this nicely? They're lame and annoying. And also, her basically how she builds her universe is kind of stupid. I mean, I hate to, like, you have wizards. You have no other magic users except wizards, and even like, well, they're witches, but witches are just the female wizards.
Yeah.
So
there's not really that much of a distinction between the witches and the wizard, other than the fact that witches are female wizards.
that's all it is. It's just
They don't have any like unique abilities. Like, there's not really a uniqueness between the witches and wizards. It's just one's a female version of the other, and one's a male version of the other. There's not really any like distinct
difference.
Yeah, so it's like I really can't. It's hard for me to give a shit about these characters when
like in Divinity, there's a difference between a wizard and a battle mage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you read most fantasy, there's differences between a wizardry, sorcery. The schools of magic are divided up into different classes: wizardry, sorcery. Like if you're a master of the different types of magics, you're a magician. But that's like being you're literally like really good at this particular thing. There's different classes of this stuff. Not with these people. But anyway, that's my unpopular opinion. I think that I think physical stuff is just kind of.
Physical stuff is kind of neat.
I think physical stuff is just kind of a waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, like having, as it pertains, like having physical copies of games and stuff, but only games I know I really want to play versus games I'm kind of interested in and whatever. Same thing with music. Like handling physical copies of music I actually really want to listen to versus whatever.
Yeah, I think physical media for certain types of games, I think physical media is just kind of a waste. For digital games, it's just unless you have people coming to your house and you're playing the game. With a group of people, I'm just not interested. That's just me. But that's my own personal opinion. I know some people will disagree. I know everyone has their own their own stuff. So that's my unpopular opinion. Anyone have anything else they want to add before we wrap things up?
I think we're good.
All right.
I think Divinity. Divinity Original Son's some really good music. I don't usually come a lot of modern day RPGs that have decent music, but this game is some pretty decent music.
I understand. I got it.
What do you think of it?
Well, I mean, the music really didn't do anything for me,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't particularly play Western RPGs for the music.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of Western RPGs have particularly great music, but this one has pretty decent music.
I think the only one that really had good music, in my opinion, is Mass Effect. Mass Effect had pretty good music.
Well, usually JRPGs have pretty decent music.
No, to me, I think Mass Effect had good music. Like, especially like just the atmospheric music. I think Skyrim has shitty music.
Yeah.
Like, like I don't think it's very good. I know some people will disagree with me.
I mean, everybody likes their theme song, but I don't even think their
Theme song's not very good.
Yeah, it's not very good.
I've never really gotten into The Witcher. I think the best Western RPG that had great music to me is maybe, I want to say Darkest Dungeon has pretty good music.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Witcher has, at least The Witcher 3 has really good music. It's pretty catchy. The battle music is, it's pretty memorable. It kind of sticks with you, but yeah.
I've never played The Witcher, so I have it, but I've never been like, oh my god, I gotta play this game. I'm like, it's okay.
They're hard games to get into. Especially the first one. That's a hard game to get into.
That hard game's not. The first one's not that good. The first Witcher is not that good of a game. I know some people are gonna be like, "How could you say that?" Come on. You know that first Witcher is not good. The second Witcher is not that good either.
It's kind of funny. It's like one of those games I really, really want to like, but just can't. Like it's just one of those games I really wanted to get into, but just didn't do it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get into The Witcher. It's just like I know a lot of people are like, "Man, you got to play The Witcher." I try to play The Witcher, and every time I try, I'm like, I just don't like this game. I don't like the combat. I don't like I don't like the world. Geralt is not a character that you really want to root for. Well, he's not a character you want to root for. He's kind of an asshole.
Well, the thing is about the Witcher series, it may be allegedly a plagiarism of Elric.
Of Melnibone?
You ever read the Elric comic books?
No, it's a book series by Michael Moorcock.
Yeah.
I've read those. I never knew because I've never read The Witcher. I don't think Razorfist did a whole breakdown on how The Witcher. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way it could be a plagiarist of Elric of Melnibone because, for one thing, Elric of they're two fundamentally different characters. Elric of Melnibone is way more badass than Geralt of Rivera.
I have no opinion on it because I haven't read
The Elric series. I haven't read The Witcher, but I've seen the games. I've seen the lore of the games and shit, and I'm like, this character's not great. He's not terrible, but he's not great. But I've read the Elric series, and that series is badass as fuck.
Yeah, apparently The Witcher borrows a lot of elements from Elric.
Probably they're both kind of mutants, and they both are long living, and they both are kind of like not good. Like they aren't your classic do-gooder protagonists.
Yeah.
Like the main character, Elric of Melnibone is not a, he's not like a good guy character. But that's enough about that. Let's wrap this shit up. Thanks for joining. We went a little bit longer than usual, but shit happens sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
But with that being said, that's the end of this podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe in order to get in
Peace
touch.
out. And don't forget that we can get by email. We got Twitter and we got a Discord.
So it's all on screen. We also have it linked in the description. You can email me at Gmail. You can @ me on Twitter. All that fun jazz. That's the end of this podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. Peace and good night. And
Hype responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget to wash your peeping hands.